federal government is set to address substandard schools building nationwide. Dr. Hamid Bobboyi, Executive Council of the UBEC, emphasized that the commissions will no longer tolerate poor quality constructions. He urged State Universal Board Education,
Education Board,
Basic Education Board, and contractors to ensure high standards in school infrastructure, highlighting the importance of creating safe learning environments. Bobboyi also announced that motors will be deployed to overseas construction sites and stressed that the need for responsible use of funds to avoid incidents like recent building collapse in Just. UBEC is collaborating with NBRRI and CON to enhance projects oversight. All right, when we return from this short break, we will take a look at this story. Just stay with us. Dr. Okochi, you can attest what happened at Just, where a school collapsed, school building collapsed, and then claimed a lot of lives, which was is a history that a lot of persons might never forget anytime soon. So, what do you think about what the federal government have said, that they are going to, they will no longer tolerate a substandard school building? Remember, structures. Remember that it's not just about a particular state. In the 36 states of the states, the country, do you understand? And there are some places that if you go there, you will wonder whether this is one is government school. I mean, there are so many. So how are they planning to do this within a year or two to make sure that all the buildings are standard? Are they going to demolish those buildings and rebuild again? What exactly are they planning to do? Because what we have here is that they will no longer tolerate substandard schools, school building infrastructures, but they didn't talk about how they want to do it.
Emma and viewer, I'm not the type that will speak colorful words.
Is your word black and white?
I say I'm not the type that will speak colorful words.
That's what I'm asking. Is your words black and white, since it's not colorful?
maybe ash color.
Your words are ash color.
Or colorless.
All right.
Anyway,
let's go.
The truth is, there are no standards in this country. Anything goes, and everything goes.
Why do you say that?
It's just the first time, this one that happened, is that the first time it's happening? And is that the only kind of calamity that faces schools? We hear of hoodlums enter a school and collect 200 people, 200 pupils and their teachers.
Well, don't you think they want to start from somewhere instead of just leaving everything behind like that?
See, when we keep saying start from somewhere, at what age are we going to be talking of start from? If you see a 64-year-old man starting with how to suck a feeding bottle, are you going to address it?
Dr. Okochi,
so we have passed this. We have passed this stage. Nigeria is late. That's the point I'm making.
Dr. Okochi, you keep saying
we should be advancing.
Dr. Okochi, you keep saying this. You keep saying this. When you say we should be advancing in what ways? I want to ask you a question. If you have built a house and then you realize that your house is leaking, are you going to leave the roof like that? Are you going to leave it like that and then rather proceed to go and do your painting? Won't you want to cover that place again before moving on? So when you say Nigeria, we are late, we should be advancing. And then people are saying, give us a conducive environment for learning. Make the environment conducive for our children to learn. And then despite the level of corruption, the government is awake, trying to amend those things. How do you move forward when you have not cleared what is in front of you?
Try to amend what? This is just publicity stunt.
Okay.
Try to amend what?
Okay, what do you want? What do you want the government to do concerning schools?
Ima, let us not forget. We are not dealing with one building, two buildings. We are dealing with 36 states and a federal capital territory that contains 220 million people by estimate. And you are making this kind of statement. How many of these states are you touching with this type of statement? How many? It's just like what we are talking about, other issues. We come up with a pittance. When you compare to the capacity, you come up with a pittance, and you want to celebrate that. How many other countries in Africa are talking of with standardized school buildings? People are past that level.
Okay, so you think that
people are past that
you
level.
think that what the federal government have said is the total waste of time?
It will not work now. We will come back in this studio next year to discuss another. By the time this administration ends, another UBEC director or executive secretary will come and tell us why these people did not succeed, and we'll just continue. It's a vicious circle. Just continue like for 64 years.
All right, Dr. Okochi, what exactly do you want the federal government to do to show that indeed Nigerians are moving forward, or Nigeria is going forward?
The federal government should invest in education. We have been told that the measure should not be less than 4% of the national budget. Go and check the education.
How should they invest in education when the environment for the learning is not conducive?
Who is the cause why environment for learning is not conducive?
And that is, don't you think that's why the federal government wants to make the environments conducive and a good classroom and a good structure for them?
How? When they are still talking of the future, they're still talking of how something happened in Jos and the children were killed. See, we are not going anywhere. Leave all this pretense. It's just for publicity so that people will celebrate them that they are working.
They didn't talk about, they only brought instance of what happened at Jos. And according to them, that they do not want what happened in Jos.
I agree with you.
To
That's medicine
happen
after
again.
death. That's what I'm saying. It's medicine after death. Why was it not prevented? It's just the only incident. Is it because that one was reported? Have you gone around the 36 states and federal capital territory and checked the buildings and you are sure there's only the one in Jos that has collapsed? We are saying that this country has collapsed. The country itself has collapsed.
Dr. Okochi,
the country has collapsed.
Dr. Okochi, you have not really said anything concerning this story because...
I am saying, I have just said it.
So are you saying they should leave this?
I am saying, get us the budget according to international policy. It is supposed to be 4% of a national budget devoted to education, and that's the least. You can increase it to 10. We are saying...
Dr. Okochi,
yes.
Please, let's have this conversation. Make me understand. How should they invest in education when there are no conducive environments for students,
we will come
for
to
the
that.
children to sit down and learn?
Ima, we will come to that. Get the point I'm making first and let the viewers get it. The problem we have is that the allocation to education yearly has been substandard, and then you want to work on substandard buildings when you have substandard allocation budgetary. So why would the kettle call the pot black? You are already creating substandardness by not giving education the quality in terms of budget. That's what is happening.
So when they have come up with a standard allocation, what are they still going to use it to?
I'll give you an example. Yes. Sorry, don't be annoyed. Let me give you an example so that you can get this point very clearly, because it's already there in the news. You cannot give 6 billion naira for legislators' car park, but 5 billion for student loans. You see the lopsided, you see where the priority is. Car parks that produce nothing is 6 billion in the national budget, but students' loan, not even student grants.
So
that's the point we're making.
Don't you think they have gone to the drawing board and realized that they have not given in a lot in educational sector? So the best thing they want to do now is turning back the hand of clock by going to make sure that they give students a conducive learning environment by creating a standard infrastructure for students and buildings, and then when they are done with that, they can now proceed. So when you are saying that we are not going forward, I'm wondering, with this news that we have here, does this define backwardness?
Emma, if the vice president's residence was pulled down and rebuilt for 21 billion naira for 1 month's residence, pull down all schools in the 36 states and federal capital territory that are substandard, create a budget, 200 billion, and then give us new schools. We'll commission them. Then we can come back to this studio and say we are talking. Not all this.
So for now, the federal government has not done anything.
This is nothing. Am I going to praise this? Me, at my age. Praise this?
They shouldn't praise this.
I will not. And I can be sued for that, and I'll go and defend it. I will not, because you have created substandardness in the country. And substandardness is following what you have created. And you're coming here to lament.
Okay, all right.